It's New Brew Thursday! Woo! Here we are at Iron Fist Brewery with Brandon, the head brewer. And what are we drinking?
This is the offhand. It's a version of our hired hand saison brewed with all Belgian malts.
So how long have you guys been open?
At this point, we're going on 7 months.
Wow. And you're 16?
Thereabouts.
Thereabout. Do you get carded when you come in here to brew, or?
I get carded behind my own bar.
He does it stone.
Yeah, he does I can imagine that. So you're 21. You're a very young brewer. How did you get started?
Well, you know, it's just kind of started as a hobby. We were just avid home brewers that one day went insane and decided to drop a ton of money and invest in a brewery. And basically, it just kind of started out. Very simply, we were doing extract batches like most people start, and then we did our own all-grain batches, and the beer got good enough that we thought we could sell it.
Right on. And so were you home brewing because no one would buy you beer? Or?
If you can't buy it, brew it.
If it's right, if you can't buy it, brew it.
How a lot of home brewers started.
Oh, yeah.
So are you from San Diego originally?
Yeah, I'm North County born and raised.
Oh,
so.
cool.
Before he opened, I tried all of his home brews, and they were basic versions of what he did later on. And I knew they were going to be good, and we talked about them, and he did some great stuff. So this beer is an offshoot of an earlier saison that you've already done, and also it's the second generation of the newest version, correct?
Correct.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we had our hired hand saison, and you know, it's just kind of in the never-ending pursuit of the perfect beer. You know, just trying different things. And one day I decided to try doing a batch, just a one-off batch with Belgian pale malt, and it went pretty well. Then I changed it over to Belgian Pilsner malt, which is this version, and it was even better.
Yeah, right on.
So what's the best way to get this?
Right now at the brewery, because
just come here.
Yeah, this is the only place that has it.
Well,
right
let's
now.
give it a try.
All right.
Cheers to good beer.
I've already had some.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I've tried all 3 versions, and today I actually tried both of the offhands, and it's a no-brainer. This Pilsner, Belgian Pilsner malt is fabulous, and it's going to be a big hit. How soon will you be able to ramp up and do a full batch of this and go through? How soon will you? The other one's really interesting
to like
too.
the minute. So number of days, hours, and minutes until
Well,
this is
I'm
actually
saying, you know,
washed.
right now you have the pale malt on,
Right.
and it's delicious.
Right.
But this one's going to knock everybody's socks off on top of that. Yeah. So come
great.
down and drink the pale malt so you can get to the Pilsner malt.
Nice.
I gotta clear up a faucet before I can do that.
Got it. So it'll be on soon, but they're both delicious, and it's really fun to try them. Will you be able to do them next side by side at all?
Absolutely, yeah.
So side by side, that'll be amazing, and you can be your own judge on which one you like, because they all have something great going for them, and so does the hired hand.
Yes.
And then you go into the spice of life, which to me is a beer to guard. So you have this kind of southern Wallonia, you know, Belgium going northern France, tie right in there with those 4 beers, and I think they're really nice, fluid.
Well, I think you guys, you're only open 7 months,
Right.
And usually for a small brewery like this, you got to wait a good year before anybody even notices that you exist. But you guys have kind of taken, especially the San Diego craft scene by storm.
Yeah,
like what would you? Besides the fact that your beer's awesome and you're amazing, and
It's
the
the
women
cool
all
tap
come here to
handles,
swoon
isn't
over
it?
you.
I bet you say that to all the brewers.
I do actually, but you know, what do you think is the reason why you guys have blown up so quick?
Well, you know, we definitely pursue a pretty good viral marketing approach. We're pretty regular on Facebook and Twitter, and just kind of getting around to beer events, trying to get our name out there. And our really #1 source of kind of spreading the word is our fans. They you know, they go places.
Well, they're
they
pretty aggressive too.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, because I know like
well, when your tap handle looks like the fist of Dr. Doom, it's like,
agreed.
I mean, I get
fans.
emails and Twitters and whatever about different breweries that are opening, and people are like, "Oh, I love this brewery. You should try it out." I get more remarks about Iron Fist Brewing than any other brewery in San Diego. Like,
yeah, definitely.
You have to get down there. You have to try their beers. And so we've waited way too long. We should have been here a long time ago. But I'm very happy to be down here, and you guys are brewing fantastic beer. So.
Thank you.
Now, you guys are technically a little bit big to be considered a nano, right? You're more of a micro status?
Yeah, we're doing 30-barrel batches, and I think that the unofficial, we started
it's like
out
15
doing...
is for nano, isn't it?
Yeah,
like the top limit?
Something like that, yeah.
Or it's annual too.
Right.
Yeah.
And that might be it. I don't even.
But yeah, I mean, your general net, like if you walk into
you're
a
only
nano
7
brewery,
months
you're going
out
to
of
see a
the year.
15-barrel
Right.
system. Like this screams Because I mean, this is about as big as the brewery was about 6 months ago, as far as like capacity of fermenters and whatnot. Yeah, and their mash tun's a little bit bigger. So I mean, brewery's expanded hugely in the last.
But he's going to do 2,500 barrels. The brewery last year did a lot more than that. So
well, yeah, but
it seems that way.
Well, they have more of the canicals, but I think the brewery's canicals are bigger.
And you know, they just added a couple. So
well, yeah, now they've got all kinds of stuff. So.
No, I mean even here, just added 2 in.
This big old
just that one big one
here, yeah.
So you know, 4 months ago they were definitely qualified.
I'm going to be crawling into this later.
When they started,
drink it.
When they started, they were definitely a nano brewery, but they've already grown, and that's how you can do it, and with consistency. So. What do you think? Should we do a Master Pairings?
Yeah, I think you and Brad should go away.
He's got some great beers.
Go and try some Iron Fist beers with food. So we're going to go to Master Pairings, and you will see us when we get back.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Master Pairing. It's me, Bill Sysak, known as Dr. Bill in the craft brewing community, and I have our own New Brew Thursday, Brad Kohlenberg, here with us today. Hey Brad.
Hey, how's it going?
Today I thought we'd do what was a nano brewery 7 months ago, and actually they've started their production ramping up so fast that they're already outgrowing that name.
That
exactly.
Nano brewing.
And it is a very exciting nano brewery or brewery that's new in Southern California called Iron Fist. And
it's as if we were just there.
They're doing some great beer. Yes. So anyways, this is their Spice of Life. It's a 6.5% Belgian ale. I don't know what Brandon classifies this as. It probably would fall under the spice, herb, vegetable category for GABF. But really, to me, this is a beer to guard. He does a saison already called Hired Hand, which is really nice. And he just did a newer version called Offhand that's really interesting too, that I think people are going to love. This beer is right in that same category, but instead of calling this a spicy saison, I'd say it's almost a beer to guard style. What's interesting about this beer is it has coriander and orange peel, which are classic positive adjuncts for wit beers. But it's a bigger beer, and it's definitely not like that. And the other thing, he's added other spices in there that are what you'd find in a winter spicing. So that's why you're picking up more depth of spice characteristics. I believe he has alligator pepper in there probably, a couple other things. So I think it's really full and round body.
So you could go with like a holiday, almost like a holiday spiciness.
I would say it's not Christmassy spicy, but it's well-rounded and perfect for what we're pairing today, which is a beautiful pork tenderloin that we did with some garlic green beans and some nice mashed potatoes with beautiful gravy. It's going to be tasty.
Thanksgiving holiday beer?
It could definitely go with turkey. I could definitely see it going on the turkey table. Usually what I serve, if you'd like to pour, go ahead. Usually what I serve for Thanksgiving dinners, I like to serve an arrangement of saisons, beer to guards. They go so well together with that. And then maybe go into something a little bit heavier towards the end of the night when you're getting into the desserts. Although this beer would go perfectly with a pumpkin pie also. But great for fall. It's spring right now, and we're having a pork tenderloin. I think it's going to be great. So let's give the beer a shot, see how it's hold. What you think of it? Have you had this before?
No.
Oh, perfect.
Cheers.
Beautiful nose. You're definitely picking up with that orange peel and coriander right off the bat. You get that tartness up front and mid-palate, but there's more depth of flavor in the back. And you get the spicy note.
Yeah, I'm definitely not like overly bittered or overly hopped or anything like that. It's definitely more on the spicy front end.
But it's not necessarily like a saison DuPont where you're getting this lighter golden flavor with just a hint of pepper.
It's more medium. Yeah.
Well-rounded, I would say, robust even for a 6.5% beer. So I think it's really well. So let's see how it goes with this pork roast. Get me a little piece. We're just going to eat off the platter, guys. So bear with us.
Family style.
That's right. And a little mashed potatoes. Oh my God. It takes it to a whole nother level. It's such a perfect marriage. This is one of those ones when you pair beer and food, you can pair it and you can be complementary or contrast. This is so complementary.
I think both of these things are really good in and of themselves, but when they marry, they both
elevate.
both kind of like bring it up a notch and then subdue the other. So they just kind of have this Harmony.
This is definitely a great beer for pairing with food, and that's why I wanted to do it. There are all kinds of great dishes that you can do. Definitely fowl dishes. Anything pork will go great with this for sure. Even some fish, but I'd say definitely anything like this for you vegans or vegetarians out there. You don't have to go with a brown ale necessarily every time when you're doing your grilled portobellos and grilled vegetables to get those caramelized matchings. This beer will go really good with grilled vegetables.
Yeah.
Even like a ratatouille, even though I like an amber ale with tomato base, I like this beer with that too. I think that would go well.
Interesting.
And then you could, so apple pie. This would be a home run with
I would
apple
like to
pie.
try this with pie, yeah.
Yeah.
I think anything that is, any kind of dish that has a lot of spice and complex, this also has a lot of spice and is complex, and you'll get some interesting things off of it.
Yeah, it's not overwhelming. I think it goes really well, and I think it's a great marriage. So thanks for coming out, Brad.
Thank you.
Cheers.
So, yeah, how was the Spice of Life? Now that you're back.
It was fabulous.
Yeah. It was like an hour. We've been sitting here waiting for you guys to
I know.
get back.
Well, I'm sure you had a few
Jerks.
beers. You know what's really cool is once in a while when we do these brewery shows, we get to try beers that aren't out on the market, that are test beers, things like that.
Well, I gotta ask, like, did you stick somebody's brain in there? Like, what is going on? Like, is this a sangria or like?
There's a little bit of my brain in there, I'm sure, but no, that's a version of the Gauntlet, which is our double IPA, which is infused with Cherimoya.
Cherimoya.
You're gonna have to explain that. Well, never mind. We'll put something on the bottom, I'm sure.
There you go.
Well, yeah, just at least spell the word out, because Cherimoya, like, Cherimoya is a fruit, right?
It's spelled Cherimoya.
Okay. So it's a fruit?
Yes, it's a fruit. It's also known as a custard apple, and it's ripe for about 2.5 seconds, and then it's no good anymore. And it just has a really intense, sweet tropical fruit character that lends itself really
How big are
nicely.
they?
They're about that big.
Okay.
Is that a defense mechanism? Like, I'm only ripe for 2.5 seconds, leave me alone. Like,
Yes, probably.
Don't eat me.
What's the shape of them?
It kind of looks like a big old amoebus blob. It doesn't really have a particular shape.
It's got stuff growing out of it.
The interesting thing about this beer is, one, it's not going to be filtered, obviously. It's going to be chunky, and it's not really conditioned.
Right, this poured directly off the fermenter yesterday.
So this is almost like tasting some wort. So this will be really interesting. So I'll let you do the honors.
Yeah.
So,
By the way, I love your growlers.
Thank you.
I don't know what that little guy is there,
this is why nano breweries are so popular, because of these kinds of
And
experiments.
if you follow me on
and
Twitter, you'd know what a growler is.
Fun times.
Because I just talked about that.
Nice.
Get some of the chunks
Shameless
out there.
plug from Dr. Bill. Follow him at Master Pairings. Okay.
I would so like to hand
Am I really
this-
gonna drink this?
I would love to hand this beer to someone
We have
who's only had
spoons.
Budweiser.
Exactly.
Like, have some of
This
my
is
beer.
not a craft beer conversion beer. This is the, like, never ever give this to somebody that hasn't had craft beer yet.
This is fun. I love stuff like this.
I'm sorry, sir.
Heyo.
There's something in my beer.
There's a plant in my beer.
Yeah,
It's almost
exactly.
like a papaya nose on the.
I have to. I'm a little bit afraid to drink
Hawaiian
this.
papaya, not a
I have to admit.
I have a question. So, what do you use for fining for your?
I only use kettle finings. The beer is never conditioned, never fined past the kettle. So
Okay.
This is what I'm going to say about this beer. This beer reminds me of a portobello mushroom. And the reason I say that is because I love the taste of a portobello mushroom. I can't stand sticking that thing in my mouth because of the texture and the whatever.
Yeah.
This tastes phenomenal. But God, I just do not want to drink this.
So you're not saying it's like a umami.
This
effect.
is no.
You're
This
saying
is like
it's
Klingon beer.
It's because you've got
This is what Klingons
some
drink when
weird
they
geek
make
type.
beer.
Well, okay. I really like this beer. It's got great characteristics. If you don't open your mouth so wide, Steven, you won't get any chunks in there, by the way.
We've had that
You have a
conversation
self-
before, but in a completely different context.
That's getting cut. That's getting cut.
Are you planning on carbonating this? Or?
yes, the finished beer will be carbonated and obviously
Filtered.
won't have the chunks in it.
I think you should name this after some sort of Klingon food, like, gok. This is gok beer.
This is real. This beer is really fabulous, and it's got a great flavor profile, and it's completely converted a big San Diego style double IPA into
Sweet wort.
almost. Well, it's got the sweet wort, but I could see where it could go right into
exactly,
a Belgian.
yeah.
Like what I'd like to see this in is the new offhand, be fabulous. The triple beer that I'm sure he'll eventually brew
One of
will
these
also
days.
be fabulous.
Are you talking about blending or?
No.
just
Adding the
putting
fruit
the
to the
fruits to
finisher,
those
yeah.
beers.
Yeah.
I think it's great with this too.
I mean,
I'd love to have a
typically-
cask of this at Stone. I mean, I'd serve this. This is really fun.
Typically, when you
I
would drink something
definitely-
like this, you would drink it without the chunks in it, right? Like it'd be
Yes.
filtered
It'd be
off at some
filtered.
point. Yeah,
Yeah, the
Okay.
finished product, it'll have.
Because I'm like, this will be
I
a
really
first if
wanna
this is how you're
try
going to sell the
this
beer.
product.
No, I don't even know how that
With
would
a
work with
spoon?
the taps.
Yeah, exactly.
First of all, there'd be Food and Drug Administration would be all over it.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to see
FDA
the
approved.
The finished product.
Yeah, because the finished product, it'll have the Cherimoya in the actual beer, but it'll be contained, so that
Right.
it doesn't actually come out with the beer.
Right now, I get a lot of sweet, fruity flavor
For sure.
on the first initial taste, and then you just get hit with all the like
All, the,
double
all
IPA
what
hops
the
on
gauntlet
the
is,
back,
like
yeah.
kind of like lies in wait for you at the back
and
of your
I
tongue
think
and
it's
just
like
attacks
it's,
you.
that you have these
punches
two
right in the
extremes.
stomach.
Exactly.
And the way to pour this in the future is just stick a cheesecloth over the top.
Yeah.
And just pour it. But that being said, all the maybe looks gross to you. Maybe the jokes are gross. A great beer. This is just in the testing stage. This is what brewers do. This is a great inside view of taking a batch, putting some fruit right into it, and letting it go and seeing what comes up.
Yeah.
And so this is early stages. We got to try this. It's amazing. There's a whole yeast bed on the bottom and sediment from the fruit, I'm sure, that has settled down into it. And I really like this. It's a fun beer.
I mean,
this is a fun beer.
you haven't even carbonated it.
No, this is.
I mean-
What are you going to call this?
I think once you get some scrubbing bubbles on that bad boy, it's gonna be
Gauntlet.
delightful.
Gauntlet.
I think that name
Gauntlet.
had been thrown around at one point. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, you know what, Brandon? We really appreciate you taking time and letting us into your fermenting area and, make fun of your beer. That's what we do. So, but you guys are brewing amazing stuff, and you really have come onto the scene and just created a lot of beers that people want to get their hands on.
For sure.
And so we really appreciate it, and good luck in the future. You guys, how are you looking to expand anytime soon? Or?
Yeah, we're looking to expand wherever we can. It's just trying to do it one step at a time.
Well,
Enjoy your
again,
beer.
thank you very much for having us in here, and
Absolutely.
until next time, stay safe and drink beer.
Beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.